Welcome to my channel Science Fiction. A world. At dawn, they deployed their deadliest killer. Not an army, not a fleet, just a single shadow. The entire orbital command went silent as the assassin's pod sliced through the atmosphere like a falling star. Generals watched from miles above, confident they had studied this human for months. They had calculated muscle density, bone strength, reaction speed. Their conclusion was simple: he could bleed. And anything that bleeds can be killed. The assassin was no soldier. It was a weapon shaped like a living being, engineered on the war moons of KTH and trained in the void arenas of Vora's order, where children learn to hunt before they learn to speak. Its armor was blacker than the void of space. Its blade, forged from plasma, hummed with contained starfire. The pod struck the desert outside the human outpost and unfolded like a metal flower. The human waited. No armor, no visible weapon, only a worn combat jacket flowing in the wind. High Command zoomed in from orbit. Heart rate steady, breathing calm. The assassin moved first. It crossed the distance faster than sight. Sand erupted in its wake. The plasma blade ignited with a shriek that split the morning air. One strike, clean and precise, meant to remove the head before the brain understood death. The blade descended and the human caught it. His hand closed around the burning plasma. Cameras distorted from the heat. Generals leaned forward in disbelief. Flesh should have vaporized. Bones should have turned to ash. Yet he didn't even blink. The blade screamed against his grip, energy dispersing along his skin like liquid lightning. The assassin pushed harder, the ground cracking under the pressure. The human tilted his head slightly. "That all?" he asked softly. The assassin drove a knee into his ribs. The human released the blade, pivoted, and let the attack pass within inches. The plasma edge sliced air instead of flesh. He moved like gravity obeyed him. For months, they had studied humans as fragile creatures from a death world called Earth, high gravity, violent storms, predators everywhere. They labeled it a biological anomaly, failing to grasp what surviving such a world created. The assassin attacked again, faster now, raining a storm of lethal, precise strikes designed to end wars in seconds. The human shifted inside the arcs, redirected wrists, balanced perfectly. Plasma blades sliced across his forearms. The smell of burned fabric filled the air. When the sleeve tore, there was no severed limb, only a thin line of red. He examined it as if it were a paper cut. Orbit Command recalculated probabilities. The assassin activated its secondary protocol. Micro thrusters fired from its spine, increasing speed beyond biological limits. A blur of blade, fist, and elbow moved in seamless harmony. The human's breathing never changed. He caught the assassin's wrist mid-strike, crushing it. Metal groaned. Sensors flared red. "You were sent alone," the human said quietly. "That means they're afraid." The assassin triggered a concealed blade toward the throat. The human leaned forward, letting the blade pierce his shoulder. Gasps echoed across the command deck. The assassin twisted, widening the wound. The human's hand tightened. The assassin's wrist shattered. He pulled the embedded blade from his shoulder with a wet sound, blood running down his arm. Still, he didn't blink. The assassin disengaged, recalibrating. Structural damage detected. Opponent's pain response irregular. Fear response non-existent. Impossible. Every sentient being feared death. The human rolled his shoulder. Muscle still moved cleanly. "You're strong," he admitted. "But you've never fought something that grew up hunted." Images flashed in the general's minds. Earth's frozen wastelands, predator swarms, deep oceans full of teeth, gravity 30% higher than the galactic standard. Every breath taken under relentless evolutionary pressure. They assumed intelligence made humans soft. They had not studied history closely enough. The assassin launched a sonic pulse, shattering the ground beneath the human's feet. Sand collapsed into a sinkhole. The human dropped with it, moving with perfect timing. The assassin struck for decapitation. The human stepped inside it, forehead driving forward. The skullmet helmet sound rang like a bell. The assassin staggered. Humans weren't the galaxy's strongest, but they were dense. Bones forged under heavy gravity, thick muscles, pain tolerance shaped by ruthless evolution. The human grabbed the assassin's helmet and slammed it into the crater wall multiple times, cracking the visor. Micro-missiles exploded point-blank. The crater doubled in size. The assassin crawled first, leg dragging, armor-scorched, systems failing. The human emerged moments later, smoke rising from his jacket. He spat blood into the sand. "You fight well," he said, not mockery but respect. The assassin initiated its final protocol. Self-detonation. Energy built in its core. The human stepped forward faster than before, grabbing the assassin by the throat. You were sent to prove a point, he said. So let me prove mine. Fist after fist drove into the assassin's chest, armor buckling, energy surging. On the third strike, his hand wrapped around the glowing core. Heat should have incinerated him. Skin burned, flesh charred. He held it anyway. The core collapsed. A harmless shockwave erupted. Silence fell. The most lethal killer in the Empire was broken. Orbit command went silent, probability models shattered, tactical doctrine invalidated. Fear crept in. On the desert floor, the human swayed slightly, injuries real, blood loss severe. One slow blink, then communicator activated. Target neutralized. Send medical when you can. I'll hold. Medics rushed as he finally knelt. Desert wind carried the scent of burned metal and blood. He looked at the sky, smiling faintly through the pain, knowing the Empire now understood too late. They could deploy their most lethal killer, forge blades from stars, engineer monsters without mercy. But as long as humans survived their brutal death world every day, someone would always catch the blade, and not even blink. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.